If you're ready, here we go.
How's it going, everybody? Happy Sunday. Hopefully everyone's been having a good day so far. We're back with more Fena. Now, we're gonna have to take a good look at something. I need your guys' help. And I'll have to look at this up myself. The last stream I just got finished doing, my Hero stream, I had a little bit of audio desync where the frame rate was off, everything was just off about it. Excuse me. So I need you guys' help to let me know if, is my voice synced up to my lip movements? Are these on point? I can't tell. I'd have to put on different headphones in order to figure out. What's up, Vittoria? Happy Sunday. Help me figure this out because it was an issue that happened before, but hopefully I resolved it last stream so that we're all good. Ay. My greasy fingers. They are? Okay, cool. So it's fixed. So we're not jumpy and all that stuff. We look good. All right. So we're back. Episode 11. This is the penultimate episode. We have one more episode after this week. One more episode after this week. So I'm expecting something crazy with this one. I won't say crazy. I'm expecting to learn some things about this episode. I hope it's good. So far, excuse me. So far, this has been crazy. Every episode has been good, and let's see if this show keeps it up. 2 more episodes. 2 more. So let me not waste any more time. I'm gonna mute this up. I'm excited. I'm excited. And pause. One more thing. There we go. All right. Fena, Pirate Princess, episode 11. We're going to get started. 5, 4. I don't know what's happening anymore. 3, 2, 1. There we go. Not starting with the opening. Okay, Abel. See that guy's face, how he was looking around? Wait, it's happening to him too? Wait, it was happening to him too, where he was being led down there? Oh wow, look at that. Look at them holding hands. What are we looking at? What are we looking at? Show me. Noah's Ark? Oh, wow. Okay. All right, so there's definitely some shenanigans afoot. I'm so afraid to watch the opening. We got one more episode left. I'm gonna watch it in its entirety. I think when we end up finishing, I just don't want to get a glimpse of anything. I would say that I'm very perceptive of things. So if I were to intently watch this opening, I feel like I might be able to draw conclusions from it, and I don't want to draw any conclusions. I want the show to just tell me exactly what it wants to. So I'll watch it after next week's episode, after the finale. The finale will end, and then we'll go back and rewatch it. Noah's Ark, huh? So we already had the Sword of Destiny, bunch of gold like El Dorado, Ark of the Covenant, Noah's Ark. Okay, gotcha, Victoria. I'm shocked at this. Tell me more. Look at him. Yeah. Where's everybody else at? That's it. That is it. At mission's end. Do you think Shiton's gonna take the sword? Do you think he's gonna leave it? What's going on, Tsubaki? Can you hear them? Oh, snap. Oh, snap. The vault of the earth? Oh, wow. So it is kind of like the lost treasures from all over the world are here. Preparation for the day that they would be needed. What day would that be? Now I'm trying to like search my brain on what that day possibly could be. Whoa. Whoa, what is happening? What's up, Jamniman? What's up? Don't rip my heart out. Don't rip my heart out, please. What's up, Harry? What's up? What's up? I'm wondering if this has something to do with the calling that Helena was talking about in this flashback. That she doesn't know if he has a calling, but if he has a if he does indeed have a calling, then maybe he'll find it when he runs into her daughter. Maybe that it could be a little bit of that. I wouldn't be sure to be fighting on all this treasure. Is your footing going to be sure enough? Ay, ay, ay. I'm kind of panicked right now. I'm a little nervous. I might not be showing it. Oh, you cooked it. Wow. Woo! Dropping them. Choke slam. Where did Abel sneak off to in this ruckus? Wonder if who went after him. Who's gonna show up after him? Come on, everybody. Stay safe. Stay safe, everybody, please. Stay safe, everybody, please. Yeah. Why is it changing because he appeared? Why did it change? It changed because he showed up. All right. You got some explaining to do, little Cody. Who are you? That was Franz. Wasn't that Franz? Wasn't Franz the only person we've ever seen in all black? There he is. Look at him. No hesitation. He is not there, man. He's not there. Be careful. Be careful of the gun. Be careful of the gun. Be careful of the gun. He's got one more shot. He's got one more shot unless he reloaded. He has one more. My heart is beating so fast. Woo! He took it! No! Is that her? All right, I need answers. I need some answers. You better come with some answers, woman. I think anything is possible. Freaking from the Noah's Ark. Anything is possible at this point. It's supposed to be a beautiful moment, but I would end this all if I was Yukimaru. Clean off. He turned his back to me, head gone. That's me. Good. I was gonna ask something in a second about that he walking around mighty fine with no arm. Show me his eyes. Yep, back to normal. think I'm starting to understand. I think I'm starting to understand. Took a minute. Think I got it. Took a good minute, but I think I got it. No, I think I got it. It's making sense in my brain as I'm thinking about it right now. Unless the rest of this episode just throws another corkscrew at me, I think I got it. I think I totally got it. I think I'm understanding what is happening. Hold on. I got you, Barry. Hold on. I think I truly got it. I think I'm understanding exactly how this is going. She has to make her choice. You have to make your choice, Fena. I have to bring. Damn. I was reading what he was saying, but I wasn't reading. It's Franz. Yeah, Franz, indeed. Well, who are you? Making sense. Making sense. All right, here we go. Here we go. I gotta take these off. I can't listen to the ED. I gotta get this out. I gotta get this off. All right, so Pete, mad confusing, right? The whole episode was confusing. That's why I just shut up. I don't think I talked for like a good 10 minutes. That's why I shut up, because I was going through mental gymnastics. If you could see what was happening in this brain, you'd be like, oh my goodness. So what was happening is that with Cody showing up, and he's the observer, and this is the story of you, right? They kept saying, like, throughout the entirety of this series, we have the choice being made for Fena. Like, you have to pick between, I forgot what it was, like blue skies or clear waters or blue ships or something, right? It was one of those. So what the deal is that Abel was being used in order to set the stage, right? Everybody is a pawn for Fena. For what, I don't know. Like why Fena is so important to the observer and what Fena's role is and all of this is undetermined. That's what this last episode is. But everybody is a pawn. Every single person is a pawn. So that means Franz was a pawn, Jean was a pawn, Helena was a pawn. All of them were pawns. So when Abel gets like the crazy red eyes and all that good stuff, that's just kind of him. I don't want to say like deviating in a sense, but he was so focused on one thing. But at that point, because of the manipulation that happened with Franz through Cody is just this individual that overarches everything, that has manipulated all of them. So I'm pretty sure he's changed his appearance throughout time. So he made himself to look like a Cody. He made himself to look like a Cody through, and the whole thing is no, the whole thing is, like, they threw it in your face a couple episodes, and I remember I brought it up and we couldn't figure it out why. But Cody said to her, he looked her dead in her face and was like, I was on the island with you the whole time. Like, we both came from the same place. Right? We both came from the same exact place, etc., etc., etc. Like he's been there the whole time. So it's like they threw it in our face, but they were just throwing stuff that we didn't know. So every single person that we've seen is just, they're chess pieces. You need this person to do this so that this person does this, so that this person does this in this specific order, so that this individual ends up here with this person at this specific time right here. That's why. That's what's happening. I don't know why, but that's what Cody. When Cody take over as Abel's dad, is Cody her actual dad? I don't know. I think Cody is, like, he's the observer, like he said. I think he's some otherworldly being that is just observing everything that is happening. That's what I think Cody is. And I just think he changes his appearance to benefit what he needs. Like, he's just telling, like, he's just, like you said, he was just writing the story. Because it's this scene right here that made it all fit to me. Because, let me mute this. Oh, let me throw some music on. My bad, y'all. It was this scene, because the whole time when I'm watching, I'm like, Helena, what is going on? In a sense, Vittoria, something like that. But I think it's for a purpose. I don't think it's just not for a purpose. I think it's for a purpose. It's this scene right here. Hold on. This. You see this? This right here. It seems this. Hold on. Oh, that's from my hero. This right here. This look told me everything that there needed to be. This look right here told me everything that it needed to be. Absolutely told me everything it needed to be. Which, because it goes from, the whole scene goes from like them back and forth, how he's like her appearance and all that stuff, and then it was just like a boom boom, like a drum, like a drum kick, like ding pow, you're done, like it's over. Like it's the dead eyes, because she looks like she has the dead eyes when she says your task is complete, but when they separate, she's got the Helena eyes. So that's what it is. That's what it is. I don't know why. I think this could be shenanigans afoot. Servicing getting involved, right? He seems mad and manipulative in a series. It could be that Cody, we have to call him Cody. I'm gonna call him the Observer, because we didn't see enough of Cody for me to get attached to calling him Cody. I also think the Observer did him a little wrong just because he beat the crap out of him on the boat, so he kind of was giving him a little just desserts with this whole scene. So I think it could be one of two things. It could just be the Observer is in control of everything, and there's just something special with Jean and Fena, and this needs to happen in order for X, Y, and Z to happen. I genuinely do think Helena didn't care for Abel. I do think it was the Observer tasking each one of them just to change the form, right? Just to change its form in order to what's his face? In order to get what it wanted to do done. Don't think so. I don't think it's possible. I'm not gonna say it's possible. I don't think that was the case. Because now that we're looking back at it in hindsight, Helena saying that to it's sad. Helena saying that to him in the jail cell, because it's like, why else would Helena come back? These were all questions we asked. It's like, why would it, like, of all times, why did Helena get caught? Why did she get caught by herself? What happened that Franz got away with just Fena by himself, right? That, like, these were all questions that I remember vividly asking, like, How come only she got caught? Right? How come only she got caught? What's the deal with that? And it feels like she got caught because we need to get Abel. Like when she was like, maybe if you find my daughter, yada, 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 then she was like, you don't have a calling, but maybe you can find your calling. That was a roundabout way of just her giving, like, she gave him a calling. Like, that was his calling. She gave him a task and he fulfilled it. Because if not for Abel, Fena was never going, like, if not for Helena tasking Abel to go around just like on this voyage, this seemingly fruitless voyage of seeing her again and running into Fena, like, if this were to never happen, we don't end up here. So that's the whole thing. It's just we need to move the chess pieces on the chessboard to get them to where we need to be. It's like the observer can't just make it happen. It doesn't seem like that's his power set. He can't just make that happen. But he definitely can take the form of somebody, intervene, and then, because at this point, I think it's 100% true. I think the story was 100% true. Helena was with the king. Like, Franz is not Fena's daddy. Fena's daddy is, like, her and Abel are, they are half siblings. Her daddy was the king. Helena was what's his face, and Cody took the shape of Franz, infiltrated, tasked her on this mission to have this baby. So then they leave off. He takes the baby, makes Helena task Abel to go on this endless journey, and then he sets Fena on this journey so that they eventually will cross paths, and that would then send her on her way to Eden, to which we get to this moment right now where they can finally come face to face in Eden, and now Fena has to make whatever choice it must be. I think her choice is to either become the reincarnation of Jean or to live her life. I think that's what the choice is now. I thought we were thinking before that the choice could have been choosing between being with Abel and choosing between the goblin. I truly think it's just between, if you reincarnate to her, then whatever thing that might eventually happen won't happen, and we can do this and keep going. Or you can choose to do this, but I'll just, for example, say the end of the world will happen. So it could just be either or. Which one do you pick? I don't think it's the end of the world. I'm using that as an example. It's either you can do this, reincarnate this, and then we can circumvent all of this. We can solve this from happening, and then everything can move on, but you can't be a part of it. Or you can choose to stay here, but this will happen, and there is nothing that you can do. I don't know. I think I'm personally thinking that's what that is. Why would she care though? What motivated her? I think it's just their bloodline. I think it's just their bloodline. There's something to do with their bloodline. I think there has to be someone else helping Fena. The whole weird white space with the dead trees wasn't shown here either. So confusing. Oh, the mysterious voice. I think so. Well, it's a possibility. It could be a manipulation of the sort. I'm trying not to like relate this back into like what I know of like history and the Bible and all that stuff, because it's basing it off of it, but it is not pulling it. It's taking its own creative liberties on those things. So it's like I can't. The only thing I can think of it is the observer. Like the correlation I can think of it is like Jean in that line is like, and her bloodline is like the good stuff, and this observer is the bad thing, which is disguising himself as the good thing and presenting himself to her in a way where it's like the observer possibly, it's very loose, but I think not. If I'm looking at it that way, that's why I've been going through mental gymnastics, because this whole series I've been trying, like it's been very, as soon as John showed up, my brain instantly went there, but I pulled myself back because I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I'll just end up confusing myself. But now that we're all the way here, I might as well do that. what I'm truly thinking now that I'm just like loosing the chains on my brain is that the observer could not have gotten to Eden. And I think the whole sky turning red when Abel shows up, because Abel is a pawn of this observer coming into Eden and changing the entire environment and all that crap. I think it could be a situation where Jean and Fena's like that bloodline is like the good thing. It's good, right? It is good. That is good. And this observer, he's calling himself the observer, quite possibly could just be like Satan. I'm just using it for an example, like Satan, evil. Couldn't have gotten here, right? Without the help. Well, not even help them. Yeah, he couldn't have gotten here without her. So he's going to set all of these pawns into place to set this up so that he can manipulate himself into this place. Because this place was closed. It was closed off. And Cody, the observer, was just along for the ride. Was just along for the ride with Abel. Because Abel's the one that can get me here. I can't do it myself. But I know everything. I know everything that needs to come together to get to this place. But I can't do it myself. She can. And this guy, and I can use this guy to help me get there. So he only shows up here once the gates, like the island shows up and the gate and the portal has been opened. Is the only time he shows up here. Abel had to walk in first and then he was able to come in. So it could be like, you can even spin it a little bit like that as well. There's so many different ways that this can go. I feel like everything will come together in this last episode, but when we figure out what the objective of the observer is, if we get some last second like intervention, did we ever find out who was sending the carrier pigeons? Abel? What do you think about it so far? I'm gonna do this because I don't want to spoil you. What do you think about it so far? I'm in love with this series, man. Even as confused as I am sitting here at episode 11, I'm like, even as confused as I am, I'm loving this. It could be a misdirect. I think I was just under the impression that what's his name, Yukihisa? I feel like Yukihisa, that's been my what's his face. Yukihisa's been my like, that's who's giving him the locations. But that could have just been a red herring. Because at some point, it was episode 7, 8. I think it could have been the episode that Dexter's on. I don't want to say too much. If Dexter's still in here by chance, I don't know. But I think, yeah, this one's it's gonna start spinning on you. It's really good. It's really good. What episode is episode 8? What episode is episode 8? I don't remember. Matter of fact, I'll be able to tell you. I can just look at my thumbnails folder. Episode 8 was... Okay, so I can talk about it. Episode 8 was... I would assume that it's not Yukihisa... Well, have we seen Abel get a pigeon after episode 8? All right, Dexter, have a good one. Have we seen that? That I don't know. Because if we have, then I don't know. I don't think we have. It was the end of was it the end of the episode when they were going away? That might have been episode 9 that we seen it, right? That was the end of episode 9. Because Fena pieced up her and Shitan's relationship in episode 7 or 8. When did she piece up their relationship? Because up until that point, for the birds, I was just using it as Shitan's telling him, he's telling him. So it's kind of just like a circle. It goes there, it comes back there. But I don't think Shitan would continue to send out birds unless it was episode 8. And I think that episode of him painting, that was the end of 9. There's no telling what the time period was and when he received it, so it's hard to say. But we also have to think about the fact that I don't know if this is possible, but Ray is still out there. His name is Ray, right? Or K. I don't remember what the hell his name is. But he's still out there. Could it be a possibility that I don't know how he's doing it? Abel's episode, it was 9. His was 9. I'm looking at my thumbnail stuff, so I'm able to tell which episode is which. It was 9. It was the end of, it was the end of that episode. Because that episode started with him, and then we flashed over to Yukimaru and Fena, and then at the very end it went back to him. He was like all depressed and painting and stuff. There was 1 in 9, so it was that one. That's what I'm saying, Vittoria. Like at that point, Shitan wouldn't have been sending out that information anymore. That's how I was chalking that up. Like, the only Abel knows where there are is because Shitan is telling Yukihisa, and Yukihisa is telling Abel. But if the bird is showing up after Fena and Shitan, like, they mended their relationship, I don't think Shitan will still be telling his uncle what the deal is. The only possibility is that K is still out there. Which makes me feel this series has the potential to set up for another season. To ensure that they get the sword. That's all Yukihisa cares about. So if K really ends up if he ends up convincing Yukihisa that Shitan failed, he was bewitched, and that he's not going to be reliable, and Abel will lead them to exactly what they wanted, which is the sword, then K can show up and retrieve the sword, tie up loose ends, and then bring the sword back. And then the relationship between the Goblin Knights and the Hauptmann family could be severed. I don't know how they'll wrap up everything in just one episode. I think it's a possibility. I feel like at this point, I'm a very optimistic person. I don't like to think about like negatives until the negative happens. I don't like not being like reactive, but it's like I don't like to think about the negatives. I would like to think shut up, something. No, I didn't catch that. Where was that at, Catherine? But I like to think about like the positives. So I'm going into next episode, which is the finale, with 2 chains of thought. That it's going to wrap up good. It's going to wrap up good. And that we could either get a good wrap up into a second season, or it's just going to put a nice little bow on it. And then, oh, you're talking about Tsubaki. Okay. I was like, the chef? I'm thinking about Abel's Men. But it was, you're talking about Tsubaki. Okay. I'm going in thinking like we could either get a season 2, or we're just going to put a nice bow on it and it'll be good. Brace yourselves for having 11 great episodes and a trash 12 episode. He was gathering the gold, mumbling himself when others commented. I think what he was talking about getting married. Was he talking about paying off debts? I thought he was talking about getting money so that he can get a wedding. I'm hoping for a second season too, because how this you can set this up with, if we just go with what I was talking about earlier of Fena having to make a choice between her bloodline, like choosing between like the influence of her bloodline in her mind and what the observer is talking about. And if the observer is like, if you don't pick me, yada yada yada, like some world ending stuff is gonna happen, or some very tragic things will happen, and she doesn't choose him, and she chooses to like leave this place, and that just puts them back out into the world. You can totally do more with this. I don't know what, but you can totally do more with this. All right, let's find. Okay. Yeah, Tsubaki's talking about he was talking about getting married. He's put you in the best bridal outfit on the whole island. Just you wait. Yeah, that's what he was talking about. Yeah. Hope she chooses Yukimaru. I think she will. It would be crazy if she doesn't. It would be crazy if she doesn't. If she doesn't choose him and she chooses what the observer, and she chooses the observer, oh my goodness. Did someone sub? I have something up on my screen, so I couldn't see. Did someone subscribe? I'm sorry if someone subscribed and I missed it. Like I have my thumbnail stuff up on my screen, so I couldn't see. Why wouldn't she choose Yukimaru? I don't think she. As I'm correct, this show is good at subverting us sometimes. It's good at subverting us. I can't say that word really fast. Subverting us sometimes. So it'd be crazy if she didn't choose him. But I don't think she was. I don't think the ending is shocking. The ending of this episode, Angel. Yeah. If you have information about episode 12, then leave. Hold on. I'm sorry. You want to know more about the Goblin Knights' backstories? Anyone in particular? Estefania, you have this information? You have said information? Is this coming from the wiki? No. Okay. I was gonna be like, give me some information then. But not at all open question. Okay. I was gonna be like, you have information? Where you get it from? I just want to know more about all of them, if I'm being honest. All of the Goblin Knights, because I like all of them as a whole, as a group. I think less about Fena and Yukimaru, because we've seen a lot of their past, so we've seen them as children. It's like seeing Fena and Yukimaru as children, I don't think would do anything except being except like seeing the people that they were around. Right? Except seeing the people that are around. But I would like to see, and we kind of got little glimpses of it, of how all of them come together. I think to me, it's just the Goblin Knights are something that's passed down. And I just think each one of them they just picked up a mantle. So I don't know if it's, or it could just be there's multiple Goblin Knights at the same time. So there's like different teams of Goblin Knights, and they're just the newest team of Goblin Knights. That's what I think. I don't trust the chief of the Goblin Knights. You're talking about Yukihisa. I believe him when we get that backstory. When we get that backstory, when Shitan's explaining to them that the only reason, like if they get the sword, then they can essentially like start to take over countries and stuff like that. That's what I'm thinking. I'm pretty sure that's all it is to Yukihisa. But that just begs the question of, was Franz a real person and the observer took him over? I think Catherine mentioned this a little bit ago, and I was just like, I don't know, because doesn't Franz and Yukihisa had history? So was it just the observer the whole time manipulating, or was there a real Franz and then Cody off them, the Observer off them, and then took his place. Who knows? Who knows? Cody will surprise in the end. Are you talking about episode 11, Angel, or episode, like, just in general? Like, he'll surprise us at the end of the series. It's a chance that Angel possibly could have been trying to drop a spoiler in here, but we've been watching the episode a long time ago. I think that could be a possibility, but I don't know. I don't know. I think this show has done a really good job at. Helena said he told her that she had to have Fena, which is why I think the Observer is the father. I just don't see the end goal. I'm not gonna call him the father. I'll call him Franz. I'll call him by his name, because I genuinely, like, after, like, this backstory just shows that. Well, this episode shows that that Abel's backstory, his memories were correct. And like, they were correct. And it seemed weird because there were shenanigans afoot with Helena and Franz. So I do think Fena is a product of Helena and the King. And there had to be some stuff to happen to get her to do some. I don't know. I'm starting to get a headache. Now. Partly because I didn't eat yet. Then the Observer told her she had the child of the King. Aya Hernandez, thank you. I appreciate you for subbing. Yeah, the King would be the father. At that point, Abel's dad would be like Abel and Fena would be related. I don't think Franz is the kid, because I think I was up to this point thinking that Abel was the unreliable narrator, and that he was just crazy, and Franz was Fena's daddy, and he was just seeing things wrong. But no, indeed, Abel's memory was right. There was just a bunch of shenanigans happening. Who did Yukimaru see get killed then? Or Abel's memories mess with though? He looks like he was under some sort of mystical power. Who did Yukimaru see get killed then? You're confusing me. What do you mean? Who did Yukimaru see get killed then? I think he saw Franz get killed. Yeah. I don't think the Observer is like impervious to dying. I think the Observer could possibly sustain damage. Is it permanent damage? No, but I do think he can put up appearances. I think it could have just been was it said that they beheaded Franz? I don't think that was said. I just think it could be something like Abel killed Franz, ran his sword through him, dropped him there, left him, got off the boat, burned it, and then like after the aftermath, the Observer just got up and was just like, all right, we're good. Kind of like that. I think Yukimaru could have seen exactly what he saw, but if that was indeed the Observer, he was playing a role. I think that's what it is. Like I don't see the Observer and think that he is Pirate Lady supposedly cut his head off in Fena's memories. But the whole thing, I've never, like, I was thinking that possibly, but just like how the sequencing of the events line up at the end of the series, Yukimaru is the one that pushed Fena off the boat, right? So if Yukimaru pushed Fena off the boat, how did Fena see her daddy beheaded? Because Fena had flashbacks from episode 7 of seeing someone beheaded, and she was on the boat when that happened. So how would she be able to see that if Yukimaru pushed her off the boat and then climbed back onto the boat to watch Franz die? I think that was just someone else, though. I think that was just something else, or it just could have been visions. It could have been there could have been various things shown to various people. I think O'Malley did behead somebody. I don't think it was Franz though. Because I remember the scene of everyone cheering and O'Malley's up there, her mouth is wide open and she has a head. I think they could have just beheaded somebody. I don't think they've explicitly stated that O'Malley beheaded Franz. I don't think that's been explicitly stated. So I do think they beheaded somebody on the boat when Fena was there. And then Fena, like Yukimaru grabbed her, took her, put her in the boat, dropped her off, and then Franz is yelling at her, "Get to Eden!" Get to Eden. And then something else blows up, and then he gets put somewhere away, and Yukimaru pushes her off, and then Yukimaru jumps up, and then Abel's there and runs him through. I think that definitely is possible. I think that definitely could have happened. I think that possibly could have happened. I don't think this was done on... We could either be looking at some super duper meta stuff. What's up, Aya? I wonder if there was more than an observer and a real Franz, or just the observer because what about the Hauptmann family? Right. I think we could be getting into some meta stuff. This is where the theories start to come in. Like, my brain is about to eject me from this conversation because I'm jumping through so many hoops. But it could just be Fena didn't see Franz get beheaded. Franz was on the boat, it blew up, Yukimaru pushed her off. Franz didn't die from the explosion, but he got cut off. And then Yukimaru jumps back on the boat. Yukimaru jumps back on the boat, and then he sees Franz die. That could just be how that was. Or we could get into some crap of all of what everyone remembers from that night is a little bit different because they were all shown different things, and what actually happened really didn't happen. You could get into some meta stuff like that. Very possible. Like, it's very possible. So you could get into some stuff like that. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm confused and understanding everything at the same time, which is confusing in itself. Yeah, it's like the show has told you one thing, and it's like, I get that. I understand what all 11 episodes have shown me thus far, and then they just do things on top of what they shown me, where it's just like, I don't know anymore. But then I kind of know. I don't know. I like it. I'm hoping for a second season. That's what I'm hoping for. I enjoy sitting here and trying to figure out what's going on in this show. This easily could be one observer is trying to do something on his own and trying to push some agenda forward, and there's a bunch of other observers, or there's someone that he answers to, and they don't know exactly what's going on, but they know something is going on, and that observer gets deleted, blotted out, and then we can be introduced to an entire new realm of different issues that could be going on. When could the second season come? Early 22? If I'm being honest, I wouldn't want to see a second season of this series until fall of 2023. give it a whole year off. Give it an entire year off, because technically the show would be airing. It's technically airing right now. It could be airing right now. It's technically airing right now in Japan, so it won't finish until winter, which puts us in 2022, fall of 2023. I was thinking that too, Vitoria. Parallel worlds. That's what I was thinking. Oh gosh, I couldn't spit it out, but I think that's what I was thinking. It's a possibility that all this stuff could have been happening. Every single visual that we've seen could have been happening, but there are multiple timelines, and Fena could be the convergence of all those timelines. It's a possibility. Fena just drifts out back and forth. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? Only complaint is that it feels like things could be slowed down and explained more fully. I agree, but I do feel like it some parts feel that it could be rushed, but then I think it could fall into the Sunny Boy boat, where I think it's the actual, like, the director's creative choice to do it. It's like, yeah, it's like, what is she meant to fix though? Who knows? But I think it could be like the director's creative choice to be like, yeah, you know what? Like, this is how we're gonna do it. And we don't need to see all this. This is the gist of everything that's gonna happen. We move on. I think it's being vague on purpose. That's what I think. I think it's being vague on purpose, because I don't think they want to show their hand. I don't think they want to show their hand. I do have a question about Fena's production. Is this the first Crunchyroll production IG? This is the first. I know this is the first partnership with Crunchyroll and Adult Swim to bring a show to streaming, essentially bringing an anime that a Japanese studio worked on worldwide first, and then to Japan after. I do know that. I don't know if it's the first partnership with Production IG. Like, I don't know if it's that, but I do know this deal that for me in the United States with Adult Swim, it's the first time that's ever happened. But I don't know if this has happened elsewhere before and we just don't know about it. I think it's odd. It's odd. I think the success of the series excuse me, it depends on how good it does in Japan. That could have been IGPX, could have been the first one, but that was I'm uneducated in that. IGPX happened back when I really wasn't into like the know-it-all about anime. I liked it, but I didn't know as much as I do now. But I do think this series is gonna ride on how good it does in Japan. But I also think that if anybody in Japan was truly interested in the series from what they saw, they would have gone through any means that they wanted to watch this show, just like everyone else goes through any type of means to watch it. Because all they would essentially have to do is VPN out, and they would just be able to watch it in their native tongue, because it's Japanese. That's it. It's Japanese, so they wouldn't have to do much. So I feel like if they wanted to watch it now, they would have found a way to watch it. I don't know. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I think what hurt it is that it didn't start on time in the middle didn't start on time with summer season. It started in the middle of it. So it's usually everybody keeps an eye out for everything, and then everything starts in like a 2-week time span. So everyone's just on the lookout for something. And then 4 weeks later, this show started. So I think that didn't help it either. I don't know, man. I hope that I'm not gonna say I hope for a second season, because if they do like wrap this season up next week, like with finality, I wouldn't want them to force a second season. But if they leave this open in any sense, please, 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 give us a second season. I wouldn't even want it to be like 24 episodes or anything. Just give us a second season of 12 and just have the story just be really good like this one is. That's it. That is all. That is all I ask for. That is all I ask for. With that, I'm going to call it, you guys. I'm hungry. I haven't eaten anything all day today. I was supposed to eat after my Hero stream, and then I got caught up down here. So I'm going to go eat now. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I really do appreciate it. Everyone that you sub during the stream, I appreciate you as well. I love the conversations that we have after these episodes, especially after this one. Because this episode was absolutely the most confusing episode of all of all the Fena episodes put together, I would say. This one was super confusing. But so I'm glad we were able to talk some stuff out. I think we have a general idea of what's going on. I'm excited to see where next week leads us. So thank you again. I appreciate you. Everyone have a happy Sunday or Monday, wherever you are. And I'll see you next Sunday for episode 12, the finale. So have a good one. Enjoy your week. I'll see you then. Peace out.